Hey guys, this week we're going to be making a couple of curtain rod holders and installing them. Stick around. Hello and welcome to this week's edition of BS with AJ. As I said before, this week we're going to be making some curtain rod holders, and then we're going to be installing all that, including the curtains of course, because my wife wanted to put some up. So I figured this would be a good video. The curtain rod holders are pretty simple. I actually designed them myself on a CAD program. I'm sure you can find a pattern that you'd like on the internet, print it off to the size that you'd like and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, if you enjoy videos like this, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and consider supporting BS with AJ on Patreon so we can do bigger and better projects for you guys. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so to start this off, we have a 1x8 piece of poplar wood. And this is my curtain rod holders. I'm going to end up cutting out 4 of these pieces here. I'm using a 1 3/8 rod to hold up my curtains. So this right here, I made about 1.5 inches just to make sure it had a little bit of wiggle room. I designed this myself using Auto Cad. I'm sure you can get online and find something similar or find something that you like better even. So what we're going to do first is we're going to line these up on this board here so we don't waste a whole lot of wood. And we're going to go ahead and cut right on the outside of these, and we'll get them prepped to cut out. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to take this 1.5 inch masking tape here, and we're going to go ahead and cover the entire face of both of these boards. Now the reason we're going to do that is because if we glue this paper straight down to this board, it may not all come off in one piece when we go to peel it off. And then you have to sand it down, and it gums up your sandpaper real bad. You end up wasting quite a bit of that. So to make this a little easier, we're going to cover it with the masking tape, and then once we cut out our shape, all we have to do is peel off the masking tape and the paper will come with it. Now normally whenever I glue down a pattern to a board, I usually use a spray adhesive because it holds really well. But I recently had somebody tell me that the school glue, just the regular stick glue for like children in school and whatnot, they said that holds pretty well as well. So I wanted to give it a try just to see if it would hold up or not, and if it doesn't work then we'll just go on to use our spray adhesive instead. I've got to say, I'm really impressed with you just using the regular stick glue. It held on really well. I didn't expect that. But now all we got to do is just go ahead and peel off all the tape that we put on underneath here. And get it coming from the right direction. It'll come off in one piece here. Alright, and I think we're going to go ahead and take this over to the router table and round over all these outside edges except for the back ones, because we want those to be flush with the wall. But the other is just to make it look a little nicer. Alright, before we take this to the router table and round over all these edges, I want to go ahead and mark where we're going to put our screws to attach this to the wall. So I've got our square here set to 3/4 of an inch. And I'll just put it up to the bottom here and mark a line. I'm going to do the same thing to the top. Now all we're going to do is find the center of this, which should be 3/8 of an inch since it's 3/4 thick here. And then we're going to drill us a pilot hole using an 1/8 inch drill bit first, all the way through it. And then we're going to come back with a larger bit, depending on what size screws we end up using, to make sure the head will sit down a little bit into the wood and it won't show. Alright, now we're going to take our 1/4 inch round over bit and go ahead and round over all these edges on the inside here. You don't want to do anything with the back here because you want that to sit flush up against your wall. Alright guys, so the way I got this set up now, we got our pieces here, we got our holes drilled. Well, I went ahead and drilled out these 2 holes on the front end here so that way our screws would set into them. So I used a 3/8 inch drill bit. Alright, so what I did now is I took a straight edge and I lined it up with a window seal. I got it 2 inches from the edge of this window seal over and I put a mark. I've already got my marks drawn, but I put a mark here. And then what I did was I took a level, just a little short torpedo level will do, and I held it up against there, held it to where it was level, and then drew a line straight down here. I'm using a pencil. That way you can mark, you can get rid of that mark a lot easier than you could a pen or a mark or anything like that. Alright, so now that I know that I put my bottom hole 3 inch or 3/4 of an inch from the top, I already marked with my straight edge here. I marked up this way and then I marked underneath it. So that way I know where the height of our, the top of our seal, the window seal is. So I've got that mark and I went ahead and measured up 3/4 of an inch and put another mark, which again I've already got right here. That is going to be our bottom hole because I want this basically to be setting right about here. Right, like just like it's setting on top of that. So I'm going to be setting it up just like that. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then I've got my other hole up here at the top marked too. I know it's 3/4 of an inch from the top. So I measured from this point up 6 inches. And then I measured down from there 3/4 of an inch. So that right there is our top mark. Now, if you didn't drill your hole straight, it may be easier for you to go ahead and put your bottom anchor in. Put your piece on here, and then you can use your torpedo level from there. You'll put your bottom on, don't tighten it up all the way, and then just go ahead and use your little torpedo level to make sure it's nice and level. And then you can go ahead and put like an 1/8 inch hole or something through there just to mark your hole. Then you can take it loose and go ahead and drill your 1/4 inch hole for your anchors. For these anchors, we will be using a 1/4 inch drill bit to put these in. And we'll go ahead and put those on now, and then we'll start measuring for our curtain rod. Alright guys, so now I have our 1 3/8 rod. I went ahead and cut it down to the length I wanted. What I did was I measured between the two curtain rod holders, and then I added 3 inches to each side just because I like it to overhang just a little bit. You can do it right on there if you want to, or just an inch past, or whatever you feel comfortable doing. This way I know for sure that it's got plenty of room to set on there and it won't accidentally fall. And also I feel like it looks better. So like I said, that's just personal preference, but I went ahead and bought 2 finials to match our wood. Since this is 1 3/8 inch poplar rod, I went ahead and got 2 poplar finials here to screw into them. It already comes with its screw head on here. So what we're going to do is mark our center point, which I've already done, but I'm going to show you. This tool right here is very handy. It's called a center finding jig, and it's super handy, especially for round stock, but it also helps you find the center of square stock. I use this all the time when I'm working with my lathe because it helps me find the exact center of oblong things or square pieces or whatever, just in case it wasn't cut exactly straight. So basically all you do is got these little ledges here. You just slide it on to where you want to, and you make your mark, and then come over, cross that mark, and make another one. Now you'll see I've got several marks here. I normally do about 3 marks to be sure, but now you'll see this is our center point right in here. So we're going to go ahead and pre-drill this with an 1/8 inch bit just to make sure that it's not going to crack our wood or anything, and also to make sure this goes in straight. So we'll go ahead and do that, put both our finials on, and then we'll go ahead and install it. Alright guys, well here's our final product. I hope you enjoyed this week's video. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and consider supporting BS with AJ on Patreon so we can do bigger and better projects for you guys. I'll see you next week.